but the jinns, they say, "Oh, our people," because
Okay.
in their world, and it definitely exists somewhere.
Yeah.
They that's very normal to them. That's very normal to just interact telepathically, and just there are no secrets between people, and they know all their history, and they know what they're doing, and the world is very much like the epitome of a creator creating everything for them.
Right.
Just there be no. That's why Shaitan is not a mushrik. He's from the kafirin.
Right. Well, now that you mentioned about the jinn, brother Joel, could you just read out your comment and yeah, because I want to bring you in on this because you've been in contact with this person here and been teaching me a lot, well, or helping me when it comes to understanding the jinn. And I think Brother Imran watched this movie as well recently. Yep.
It's pretty interesting.
Yeah. Brother Joel,
he's really been diving into jinn content. I didn't watch everything yet.
Yeah.
I especially like that one right there, like right below with Aladdin.
Yes.
Yeah, that video is incredible.
Yeah. Because this helped me come to this understanding about you can't get away from marriage being something to do with the sea and coral. And yeah, it was just and the blue color as well. This blue color.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep. It just stands out too. And in that video itself, like there was a picture that he showed with Sai Baba and it's a cult leader. And in the background there was what's believed to be Krishna, I believe.
Yeah.
Right.
And his skin was like so pale and blue. And forgive me for like mentioning this, but corpses actually look like that. They get
dead,
very
dead and blue skin.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I'm thinking about our conversation that we had with Jerry on demons and jinn, and I couldn't help but think again, trying to translate this as best as I could. This is why I've put here the humane species and the serpentine species, because when you do study a lot more of how Allah is described insan and jinn, I do get the sense more and more that one is clearly more positive and the other one is clearly quite negative. One is dark, hidden, as you said. What did you say in your comment section? Light doesn't reach them, right? You said, I think.
I'll just read it out. Those deep sea creatures, they are always described as the most alien, and they look hideous.
Yeah.
And there's no light where they are. So the developments, they're not really based around like sight all the time. So that's why
Hearing.
all their other senses are more like exaggerated, and they all look deformed because of that.
Yeah. When do they come out? And Brother Imran was speaking with Jerry about this. When do they come out? What time is it that do they seem to come out the most or affect people the most? They come out
nighttime, and
exactly where there's less light, right? Where there's less light. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that they're active during full moons too. The tide rises.
That's their light.
Yeah, exactly. And
yeah.
So would you say that this guy is a jinn, or would you say he's just jinnin?
It's kind of like he just woke up.
Yeah, like his eyes are so like there's no reflection on his eyes too, like just dark pupils, very wild.
Yeah.
But there was a picture just there with two people. It looked like they were drinking from like a conch shell or something.
Right.
Yeah.
I think those were like some form of psychedelics, because I've heard commonly as well that people who go on those trips, they see blue entities.
Yes.
All the time.
Yep.
that looked like this. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So that's interesting. I just want to.
You got the serpent here. You got this.
Yeah, I just want to mention one more thing about serpent. Chinese dragons, they're always like aquatic, and we know there's waters above too. So if we're always like hearing about dragons and they scales, fish has scales, it's all like aquatic features. And some of their horns actually look like corals.
Yeah. I heard on I heard on Brother Eagle's one of your live streams, I think you were speaking about the Chinese calendar, and so we're supposed to believe that all of these other animals exist except for this one.
The zodiac.
And so basically, is this what Allah's, when Allah says Jan or Jinn, this is encompassed in that, right? What we see here. That this
there's one. It could be. The only thing we can really definitively prove from the Quran is the story of Musa.
Yes.
Where basically something comes from his staff that is like a Jan.
Right.
What eventually happens, the third account of that same story, is Hayyatun. Hayyatun. That's a snake. Okay, so Hayya is a snake or a serpent. And actually it can also be called a worm.
Right.
Spelled with a Y or spelled with an O.
I see.
Which is the old term for these large, amazing snakes that they call dragons.
Yes.
Now, when he goes to Fir'aun, it's called a Thu'ban twice. So there's no contradiction in the Quran, right? This is the actual name of this species, Thu'ban. If you just search Thuban, you're going to find that that's the star of the constellation Draco. That came from this word in Arabic.
Okay, Thu'ban, yeah?
Yep. So this is a member of this beings called Al-Jan. At least one. And it's described as a hayya, as a snake. And when you can find pictures of this contest between him and the magicians. They just show dragons easily. These would be probably akin to the aquatic ones, but probably for land. There's like a land-based one, right? What's interesting to figure out there is that if you just search Thu'ban in Arabic, what you'll find is this is the actual scientific term for snakes in Arabic, Thu'ban. Which tells you, Thu'ban. So, which tells you that snakes are a type of dragon, actually, in Arabic language. And, we're talking about how they're made from a marij and nari, right? If you just compare from marij from a fire, okay, that verse 15, chapter 55, and you look at the other account of Al-Jan, how they're created, you will notice that they're made from nari as-samum.
As I've got here. So if I could just read this out. So this is what I've brought here. So in Surah Ar-Rahman from verse 15. So again, it's that duality. In verse 14, let me just bring it up here so people can see. So we have in 55:14. So okay. So very soon into the surah, we start off with that verse that's repeated 31 times. Straight after that, we've got Allah describing the insan and the al-jan.
Yes.
And so what you're mentioning there right now, you're on about the other extract that does similarly in the Quran, which is in Surah 15, 26.
You have to put them together, right? Reconcile them together because Nari Samum, I looked at what that is. So if you put that together, what you get is the Jan are made from a marij of as-samum's fire.
Right.
That's what it says, because it doesn't specify the fire, but then you see together that as-samum is a toxic place that clearly will have fire. And what's interesting is I looked at where that is used, as-samum, in chapter 52, verse 27. These people that are people of the aurora, mushfiqeen, they're protected from as-samum's fire. As-samum is a place, by the way, just like Zaqum is a place,
Right.
Hamim probably is a place. And then ashab al-shimal, the ones of the north, the companions of the north, companions of the left, they are in a samum and a hamim. It's a place. Now you see the origins of this group of creatures, and they're compared with al-ins. Al-ins is basically it means the humans, right? Like, this is kind of like the different streams of humanity. But what's interesting is Jinn is singular. So it's like if you were to take any individual jinn, like shaitan, right? You'll find that he's just at any time connected to all the shayateen. That just like it's like a web, a massive like an internet. Okay.
Right.
But if you take any human, they're always just going to be isolated, right? So that's what I'm constantly seeing here is that this group of beings. So al-Jinn, we only get an idea that Thu'ban is a description of from the Jinn. Okay. And then for the Jinn, we see that the only descriptor is Ifrit. Ifrit says in chapter 27, Ifrit from the Jinn.
Yes.
So that is like a particular maybe tribe or species. I don't know what, but
okay.
Yeah.
I thought
there's something.
I could be wrong. I got goblin like some.
Yeah, that's usually what it is, because if you look at what these creatures are capable of, I think I was talking to Brother Muhammad about this a long time ago, but these goblin-like satyr, pan kind of, they kind of shape shift, and it makes sense that if this is really Iblis's, mode of life, now you can see how he could fool people into thinking he's an angel. That he can conceal himself very well. In fact, the underwater creatures are the best masters of disguise.
Right.
Okay. They also live very long too, like jellyfish and whatnot. All the aquatic creatures live very, very long lifespans.